Quick injury update, if you don't mind. Sheriff Fortner, Greg Jr., Antonio Johnson, Lacey.
Johnson's out, Junior's out, Lacey's in, Brandon's in, Luke's in.
Did Brandon make a pretty impressive recovery to get back that quickly?
I think everybody heals differently. Pain tolerance is different for everybody. He played at Iowa. He's a tough player. It just goes to show, the type of person that he is and how important, his teammates are in this team and, trying to be available for every game.
Clipping that for promotional purposes, by the way.
Excuse me?
I'm going to clip that and send it to them for promotional purposes, by the way.
Please do.
Players in the locker room are kind of evenly split. Some say it's personal. Some are saying this is just the next game. Where do you kind of fall on that spectrum?
I mean, it's week 2. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the next one on our schedule, right? We know everything about the game and the importance of the game, but look, we like I said the other day, we're looking to improve from week 1, and we love the fact the game's here, at home and in front of our fans and all that, and everybody treats them differently, right? But for me personally, it's just that's the next one, next one on the schedule against a really good team.
When you played the Chiefs last year in the regular season, the onside kicked it real early. In the playoffs, you were aggressive. You felt like you needed to be. Do you still feel like you have to be, I guess, a little aggressive like that against a team like this one?
I think anytime you're playing, quality opponents like this and good football teams, you have to maintain a level of aggressiveness. Each week we try to find opportunities to do that, and we were successful a couple times last year doing that. But too, you got to see how the game goes and see the kind of getting the feel and the flow, and obviously, they're aware, right, from what obviously Detroit did in week 1 and what we did last year and all that. So it'll be harder, to try anything, but you still try to take advantage if you can in all 3 phases.
In a home game like this one, is there ever any thought in your head of, okay, let's do something, get the crowd going early on our side, and that gives us a little bit
No,
more?
I don't think you go chasing stuff like that. I think you just stay within yourself and execute your game plan, and if something big or great happens in the game, we get the crowd in it, but I don't think you have to do anything extra special to get the fans in it.
I know you guys were obviously concerned about Kenny Moore in the slot for Indianapolis last week, and perhaps that's why Christian's numbers were low. Is there a concerted effort to say, hey, let's make sure he gets more involved this week, or was it just circumstantial, do you think?
I think it's more circumstantial. We're talking 2 different defenses, right? 2 different philosophies. One is a zone scheme. One is a pressure man type scheme, and Christian thrives a little bit in some of the man type schemes, and so last week was just the way the defense is, and it wasn't for not trying to get him the football. The ball just went other places. So he'll get his opportunities in this game, and Trevor does a great job of spreading the ball around and trying to find the open receiver. So Christian's a big part of it, and we got to somehow get him going.
You see Josh get a couple sacks last week by containing Anthony Richardson and making sure that he doesn't get outside and able to run up. How encouraging is that for this coming week when you got a Mahomes who different type of quarterback but very elusive still?
Yeah, it is. It's encouraging. It shows discipline in your pass rush. You can't ever get above the quarterback, and you don't ever want to get underneath the quarterback, right? Because those are 2 dynamics where the quarterback can get around you or up and out, of the pocket. So being able to do that, and then getting pressure from other spots too, really helps the sack totals and individually. And Josh did a nice job. And Josh played well. I mean, he played with aggression, he played with speed, he played physicality, all things that we look for, out of one of our top players.
It seems like Trevor has sort of maintained his even keel. This is obviously a big matchup. You're Patrick Mahomes, Trevor, you know. How has he approached the week, and what have you seen out of him?
You know, I think the matchups are for you guys to talk about. I think Trevor just stays within the game plan and really tries to execute and have communication with us as a staff to understand the plan and how we're trying to attack. And you know, he spends a lot of time in the film room, you know, before and after practice, studying the tape. And you know, he's such a competitor. He just wants to win and you know, get his skill guys involved the best he can. So it's not necessarily Trevor versus Patrick or vice versa, because they both play the same position. I just think Trevor's going to do everything he can to help Jacksonville, you know, succeed, you know, where he can.
Does it help that he's seen them a couple times recently, and when you have a young quarterback,
Sure.
if he's seen a team twice, does you give him maybe a little bit more input in terms of putting this game plan together, in terms of what he likes, doesn't?
Yeah, I think, you know, having that familiarity with them and the same defensive coordinator obviously helps. There's history there. You know, we know he knows we all got to play and coach better, you know, against them. But yeah, you know, and then his input, you know, where he can and interject where he can, and what he likes and dislikes is very helpful to us too.
You wish it would have been like camp weather out there this Sunday, like 97, bright sun.
I can't control the weather.
How much different is, you know, when you're looking at the tape of the Chiefs without Travis Kelce, particularly in the red zone? Just, I mean, obviously you don't control how many snaps he's going to play on Sunday, but I mean, how different is that offense with and without him?
You know, it is different. You know, I think that's the one thing that stood out. You know, watching last week's game, just, you know, having that trust factor, obviously with the top receiver and tight end in Travis, and just knowing where they've spent so much time together. Patrick knows exactly where he's going to be, when he's going to be, and they do a great job of going off schedule. And I think that's the element that they possibly missed last week, right? Of the off schedule plays and just knowing where Travis is going to be, and that's the hard thing. I mean, that got us last year in the red zone a couple times. You know, just knowing and understanding where number one, where 87 is going to be, and then, you know, when Patrick does move and go off schedule, you know, you've got to be on point. And this is where eye discipline and understanding, you know, scramble rules and all that come into play for us as a defense.